Hi, welcome to the Gemara in Bava Kamma, Daf Pei Gimel Amud Bet. I'm starting from the beginning of the Gemara. Amai? Question mark, exclamation point. Why? Why is the Mishnah discussing financial payment in response to serious injury? Ayin tachat ayin, Amar Achmana. The Torah says, ayin tachat ayin. The Torah says, literally, an eye for an eye. That's a quote from a pasuk. Ema, I will say, ayin mamash. I will say that this means a literal eye. Lo sakadaitcha. Don't think that. Titania, because we learned in a Braita, Yachol simete no misamete no katat yado mikatat yado shiberet raglo mishaberet raglo. You might have thought, Yachol means you might have thought, but you would be wrong, that if somebody, if someone blinds his eye, so we blind that guy's eye. And if he cuts off someone's hand, we cut off his hand. And if he breaks someone's leg, we break his leg. Talmud Lamar, therefore the pasuk comes to teach us, Makeh Adam, Umakeh Behema. These are not exactly quotes from Psukim, but it's using them as quotes. Ma Makeh Behema l'tashlumin, Af Makeh Adam l'tashlumin. Just as we know that the response to someone injuring an animal is monetary, so too it must be that seriously injuring a human means that the consequence is financial. V'im nafshecha lomar, and if you wish, you can say, offering an alternative answer. Harehu omer, behold, the pasuk says, Lo tzichu kofer lenefesh rotzeach asher hu rasha lamut. You cannot take ransom, you can't take money for the life of a murderer who is evil and must die. That's a quote from the pasuk, a direct quote. Lenefesh rotzeach iya talokeach kofer. You may not take a ransom, you can't take any money for someone who murdered. Hence, one may take, right, but one may take money for limbs that do not grow back in response to having lost a limb that does not grow back. That's the end of the Braita. I'll put all of that in red. Hai Makah. Which makah is being referred to in the first answer? Which makah, which instance of injury? Sorry, that's a question. Ilema, if you were to say, makeh behema yishamena umakeh adam yumat, hahu bekatz laksiv. If you were to say it's from this pasuk that striking an animal you pay and striking a human being deserves death, so that is speaking about a case of death. Rashi explains this is talking about a case where a person strikes parents, and that is punishable by death. So that is not a good example. That is not going to help us prove the point that the punishment for injuring another human is financial, and therefore that can't be the pasuk that the Braita was referring to. Ela mehacha, rather from here, makeh nefesh behema yishalmena, nefesh tachat nafesh. There's a pasuk that says that if you injure an animal, you have to pay. Yishalmena is the word for payment, a life for a life, but it's interpreted there clearly as being financial. V'samichle, and juxtaposed to it, the next pasuk is v'ishki ten mumba mitoka asher asa kenya aselo. A person who inflicts a wound, inflicts a blemish on another person, just as was done to him, so too, just as he did, so too should be done to him. Which sounds quite physical, but which we see from another source that this is, and Rashi explains to us, this is considered to be financial, that giving Kenya Aselo, doing to the person as was done to them, it's like an ayin tachat ayin phrase, and it means something financial. But the Gemara has a problem, the Gemara has an objection to this as the explanation of the proof text. Hai lav makehu. This is not actually a reference to makeh. This second pasuk that you want to make the Gzera Shava with, you want to make this connection with, doesn't actually speak about hitting. So the Gemara responds to this challenge and says, haka kamrina. No, they're both references. In both cases, we're talking about hitting. We're talking about striking. So just as the striking that takes place with an animal, monetary compensation is the response, so too striking a human being, monetary compensation is the response. The haktiv, but doesn't it say, the ishkiyake kol nefesh adam mot yumat? Question mark, exclamation point. This is another challenge to the explanation of answer number 1. Doesn't it say, isn't there another pasuk that says, actually right there in Vayikra Chaf Dalet, that a person who strikes another person receives the death penalty, dies? Doesn't that seem to contradict the whole idea of monetary compensation? B'mamon, the Gemara says, no, that mot yumat also means money. The Gemara isn't satisfied with this and challenges that response. Mimai b'mamon. From what do you get that this is monetary? Why would you think that this is money? Mimai is a question word, right? From what or from where? Ema v'mitza mamash. I would say that mot yumat means death, actual death. Lo salkadaycha. Don't think this way. You shouldn't think that it means actual death. Chara deha'id keshamake behima yishalmena. First of all, chara means one or first. First of all, because we have this connection. It is connected to, there's a hekesh made to makeh behima yishalmena. And so we already have that connection. So injuring a person is already linked through the Gzera Shava that we made earlier. The ode, and furthermore, k'tiv batre, it says afterwards, ka'asher yiten mum ba'adam ken yinaten bo. As the person damaged the other person, so too shall be done to that person, which again sounds very physical, but Rashi and really the Gemara later explains that this is interpreted to be monetary. This giving, yiten, is interpreted, the thing that you give is money. Ushma mina mamon, and we learn from there, money. So both of these proofs, again, these proofs really only work if you're willing to go with a certain set of assumptions about what can mean something monetary. But for both of these reasons, we accept the fact that the Gzera Shava works, and the proof texts that the first answer in the Breita was referencing is this juxtaposition. Makeh nefesh behema yishalmena nefesh tacha nefesh, and ish ki yiten mum ba'mito kasher asa ken ya'aseh lo. That smicha psukim, that Gzera Shava, is what's being connected, and that shores up, that explains answer number 1 in the Breita. Now the Gemara has a new question. Umay im nafshech lomar. What is this im nafshech lomar? Meaning, why is the Gemara offering a second answer? Why does the Breita offer a second answer? Having just justified answer number 1, we now want to know, why did you need an answer number 2 to begin with? Tuka kashilatana. It was still a difficulty for the Tana, meaning the Tana was still not pleased even having offered the first answer. Man chasit dialat makeh behema. What did you see that you learned from makeh behema, from striking an animal? Leilaf makeh adam. You should learn from makeh adam, right? It seems a little strange maybe to learn about human injury from animal injury. You should really learn it from someone who strikes a person. So from a verse about striking a person. Amre, danin nizakin mi nizakin, ve'in danin nizakin mi mita. But Amri, they said, we should learn injury from injury, and we shouldn't learn injury from death. In other words, no, the Tana didn't have a problem with learning. Didn't have a problem with learning about human injury from animal injury, because better to learn laws of injury from other laws of injury than trying to learn laws of injury from laws of death. Meaning the one about striking a person, ish makeh nefesh adam, right? Or sorry, ish ki yakeh kol nefesh adam. You wouldn't want to do that if you have a choice. Better to learn from a case of hurting an animal. So that couldn't have been the Tana's problem. Adarabba, danin adam me'adam ve'en danin adam mi-behema. No, lahafech, adarabba, on the contrary, we should learn laws about a person from other laws that have to do with a person, meaning even if it's about death. And we shouldn't learn laws about a person from an animal, meaning, no, this really was the Tana's problem, right? The Tana really didn't like this model of learning about people from learning about animals. Hainu zekatani im nashachal amar harehu amar lo tichu kofar lenefesh rotzeach asher hu rashal amut. And that's why, kimochumat. This is the continuation of the Breitza. Lenefesh rotzeach iyatza lokeach kofar val lokeach kofar l'she ivarim she'inam chozrin. So that's why the Tana then offers the second answer. The second answer teaches us about the laws of human injury by making an inference from what happens when a person murders another person. So it keeps it all within the category of things that humans do to other humans, as opposed to things that humans do to animals. So now we've established why the Tana felt dissatisfied with that first answer and why the Tana wanted a second answer. Question mark, exclamation point. Now this is the Gemara's problem or question, challenge to answer number 2. Does this pasuk of lo tichu kofer lenefesh rotzeach, does this really come to exclude Roshei Ivarim? Does it really come to exclude the case of a person injuring another person? Haimi Bayale. This pasuk is already needed for it, meaning it already has a use, it's already being used for another idea. De Amarachmana, because the Torah teaches us lo ta'avid beit tarte. You can't do two things to the assailant. Lo tishkol minei mamon v'tiktale. You can't take money from the person and also kill the person. So the pasuk is already teaching us that you can't double punish the person. It can't come to teach us that you can only take money for limbs because you can't take money for murder. So that was the challenge. Now the Gemara is going to try to resolve that challenge. Hai michte rishato nafka. No, that idea comes from a different pasuk, Kedei rishato, which we looked up inside. You punish the person according to their evil. Risha achat ata mechayvo. V'i ata mechayvo shte rishayot. You can only make the person liable for one evil. Rasha is singular in this pasuk. His evil, but not his evils. So you can only obligate him for one punishment, not for two punishments. And so we get that idea from the pasuk of Kedei rishato, leaving lo tichu kofer lenefesh rotzeach open for learning out financial payment for chopping off limbs. But now the Gemara has another objection or challenge to this answer. V'akati mabayile. But we still need it, meaning this verse is still occupied, to ka'amar rachmana, because the Torah also said, God also said, lo tishkol mamon v'tiftarei. Can't take money from the person and have them be exempt, meaning it can't be a purely financial payment. This is the pshat of the pasuk. The pasuk lo tichu kofer lenefesh rotzeach is teaching us you can't let him pay his way out. You have to kill the perpetrator. But now the Gemara is going to reject this challenge, or challenge the challenge, however you want to think of it. Im kan lichtov rachmana lo tichu kofer la'asher hu rashal amut. If that were all the pasuk were coming to teach us, let the pasuk write, or let the Torah say, lo tichu kofer la'asher hu rashal amut. Don't take money because he's so bad he should die. Lenefesh rotzeach lamali. The words lenefesh rotzeach, why do I need those words? What are they there for? What are they doing? Shma mina, lenefesh rotzeach yata lokeach kofer, aval ata lokeach kofer l'roshei ivarim she'inam chozrin. So either this last line or this whole section starting from im ken is really the answer, the solution to the problem or the response to the challenge. I learned from here that you cannot take money for someone who murdered, but you can take money for someone who just chopped off a limb. In other words, the lenefesh rotzeach part, that part of the pasuk is free to teach us this idea of ayin tachat ayin being monetary. V'chima achar dichtiv lo tzichu kofer, makeh lamale. New question. Now that we have lo tzichu kofer, right? Now that we have the second answer, makeh lamale. Why do I need the gzera shava? Why did I need the first answer if the second answer is so convincing? Amre, they said, imehai hava amina ibai eno native, v'ibai dmei eno native. If from here, meaning if we only had the second answer, right, the one that we're saying, oh, well, if it's so great, we should be able to keep just that. If we only had the second answer, the one about the kofer, I would have thought that somebody, maybe it's the attacker, right, has a choice. If he wants, he can give his eye, and if he wants, he can give money. And that's kind of what it sounds like. Lo tichu kofer nefesh rotzech maybe sounds like, you can't impose that on the guy, but he has a choice. Kamash malan mi behema. Therefore, we learn from behema, from the case of an animal. Mamake behema l'tashlumin. Just as if someone strikes an animal, they have to pay monetary compensation, no option. Af make adam l'tashlumin. So too, if you injure a human being, you have to pay monetary compensation, no choice, and that's the answer. Right? This amre is the answer to that question. Okay, we'll stop here.